Thanks for joining.
I'm Reese,
I'm Joe. You're listening to Poly by Nature,
the podcast where you can have your cake and eat it too.
How did you find us?
Okay, so I found you guys because I was in a tattoo shop and there was this couple and they were like a same-sex couple. These two women, they were beautiful and they just made me comfortable. So I'm a talker, period. Like I'm just talking. Like that's just me. Like I'm the type of person who I could keep a secret, but you got to give me like, bitch, don't repeat this before the secret, right? So I'm in the tattoo shop and I'm naked already. I already see my whole nunu. And so we're talking about relationships and I'm talking about my poly relationship that I was in at the time and how shit was fucked up, right? But I loved it either way. And the tattoo artist was like, I know who you're dating.
Uh-oh.
I'm like, you do? I'm like, bitch, did I say his name? Did I say his name? And he was like, and he pulled it on. And I was like, nope. He was like, well, still, okay, listen to this. And I was like, damn, they're fire. But then to see two beautiful creatures, young, from Buffalo?
Yeah.
Like,
Central Park.
Central Park. So I'm like, this shit is amazing. So I'm not crazy. I'm not a whore. I'm not weird. This is life. And it makes you feel so good. Like-minded people. But more importantly, I think that your platform, if you know it or not, is very informative. And it's a huge guide.
That's good to hear.
Like I've reflected multiple times on little situations like arguments. Arguments that didn't even take place, but that needed to take place. You know?
Gotcha.
And that's why I said to you earlier, you guys have the best arguments. Like it's like no argument. Like it's a disagreement with no argument.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, so this is how I'm gonna approach this situation. It's a guide. You know what I mean? So
I love that.
We need that. We need more of that. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Female friends, like, do they be like, no, take me home to her. Like, I want to be with her. Like, how do you deal with that?
I don't date many women who are into women.
Oh.
And
are women not into women? Is that a thing?
No, yeah. I think a lot of women that I have dated are bi-curious, really? But I don't know if they're necessarily bisexual.
I don't know. Like, I feel like, how could you not like women?
Because here's the thing: if you've never been with a woman, then there's that insecurity about being with a woman.
Because like, even if like, okay, so let's think from the beginning. Like, even if it was a moment in space where I'm like, I don't know if I can please you. I don't know if I can make you happy. I still craved the energy. Like, I don't care if we lay in a bed, bake cookies, and take a nap.
But who's gonna say that? Who's gonna like?
I guess that's true.
Who's gonna say that?
Yeah. So you don't. It's like I've been in situations where I'm like, fuck me how you fuck her. Like, make love to me how you make love to her. I want to feel everything you give her. And that literally grows me. Like, it makes me feel.
Is it a connection of like.
Yeah, like we're one. Yeah. You know?
I don't know.
Am I the only human who does that?
You listen, everybody does what they want to do. And you got to do what makes you right and feels right?
But is that uncomfortable?
No, I mean, it depends on what's the dynamic there. You know
like if you're dating a woman and she's like,
well, I'm very standoffish in the beginning.
Really?
So if he was like, I'm bringing this person home, I'd be like, who is this? I don't know her. I might not even like her. Like all these things because I have to move at my own pace and I'm very stubborn about that. So if I was to organically move at my own pace and come to really be comfortable with someone, then that would take either her or me speaking up and saying, this is what I want.
To bring people around her, I will just say, I'm bringing someone over that you're going to meet. And it's not a sexual encounter. I'm about to bring somebody over so we're going to have a threesome. No. I'm cooking some breakfast this morning on a Sunday morning. You guys are coming. She's coming over. She's a friend of mine's. And sometimes I have to progress it a little bit because if I let it go at her pace, I love new relationship energy, but her pace may be 6 months from now. I'm like, I'm done. I already moved on.
I admire how you can set boundaries though and go slow with things.
But that's why I do. Because my idea is like, okay, if he can be with this person for 3 months, okay, then I'll meet him. meet her. Because if it's not going to progress to something, why even? Yeah.
And have you ever found yourself in a place where a woman just can't handle who you are and who you guys are as a person?
Yeah.
And now she just run off.
Yeah, no. I don't.
Or they expect more.
They either expect me to be monogamous and leave home sometimes, or they expect me to say, well, how much time are you getting over there? How much time are you getting over here? And I'm like, well, I just
it's not a tug of war.
Right. So, but no, I'm not bringing just a lot of people around. But when I'm like, okay, I'm actually vested here and something feels right, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm bringing somebody over, or you're going to come out and we're going to go out and meet somebody just to have lunch.
I think that's my like love language. Like, I don't care for the separate. Mm-hmm. Like, I want all of you. So if you have a person, let me fall in love with that person. Like, let me meet that other, because to me, they're like an appendage, like an arm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't like the separate. Like, I want all of it, you know?
But I don't know. See, that's tough though, because
that's very tough.
There's not always a connection, because you can connect with a person, a male or a female.
Leader.
And you're like, yo, I'm connected. But then the other people, you're like, man, I'm just not feeling that connection. Yeah. And so when I first started this journey and she introduced me to Poly, we went into a situation of like, okay, we about to find a girlfriend. We about to be together. Right. It's closed. Y'all gonna love me. I ain't gonna love anybody else. And this is what it's gonna be, right? But then I'm like, we have evolved, right? Yeah. And our evolution has changed on what the dynamic is. So now I don't necessarily foresee a future that simply says, it's the three of us.
Yeah.
You guys, you riding and dying with me. I don't even know if that's going to be the case.
I would actually like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
No, I haven't said that before.
Not in a while.
Not closed. I mean, I still
still want that.
Outside. Do you ever think you will close the rings though, where it's just like, this is a good fit. We're happy. We're satisfied.
I can't. It's just because I need new relationships until the day I die. And I don't want a restriction on like, not that I need 50 people.
I understand.
But I don't want a restriction on like, okay, now I have 2. I'm closed. I can't
meet, or you meet someone and it's like, oh, I can't talk to you.
What about like cohabitation or introducing people to your family? Like, that's something that I've thought about. Like, I've told my family, don't be surprised.
When I say that, that's what I want. I think eventually that's what I mean. Day, like, in the same place.
Yeah, I think that's something I definitely want.
I want to go down somewhere warm with 2 women, and we wake up every morning and we go for a walk and we have coffee. Baby. Yeah, like that part of life I would love. But
yeah,
we were talking about how many is too many at some point.
That's a good question. That was one of my questions.
Yeah.
How many is too many?
I think that he knows his capacity because he still has work and he still devotes time to the kids.
I love it.
And spending time with them. And he still does his own thing solo, whether it's the gym or, just going to the mall or
his own life.
Yeah.
He goes to the movies by himself.
Yeah.
Just little things.
Can I interject too? I love the fact for the both of you guys that, because I know like myself in relationships, I've lost myself and became that person.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes we just conform.
Yeah.
I love the fact that both of you guys, even though you're so much alike, you're so your own individual.
Yeah.
And you preach that. You know what I mean? Like, no, you have to stay yourself. Even you saying he has his own thing to do.
That was us in monogamy.
Yeah.
We were literally one.
Yeah.
Our life was the same. We were each other's everything. And it was too much.
It's scary.
It's too much. We start to look alike at some
point.
It
is scary.
You guys do look alike. You guys do resemble.
That's why our kids look alike.
You guys do. Yeah. No, seriously. You guys do look alike.
No, but it's like we have to have that space. But at the same point, how many is too many in the real world? For me, it's like,
I think 4. I'm not gonna lie. And I've been the 4th.
See, 4. See, here's the thing though. I'm a lover.
4 women?
Yeah. No, well, 3 women.
3 women. Okay.
But see,
I think I was too much.
I'm a lover. So like when I love.
Right.
And so I know how much I can love, but at some point I'm like, okay, somebody's not getting enough.
That's my point.
And if you can't, and as a man, as a provider, as a protector, and there's all this other stuff that I want to be, if I feel like somebody's lacking, if I look across the room and she's missing something, I'm gonna run across the room and make sure she's got it.
I love it.
But I can't run to that corner, that corner, that corner.
Please, I have a question for you. Have you ever felt like another woman wasn't getting enough? Where you're like, babe, you're not giving her enough.
I feel like I do have standards for how he treats other women.
I love that. Ooh.
And I tell him that.
She's amazing. Yeah. That's so sexy.
Listen.
Oh. Because even the energy he has around me when he talks about other women.
Right.
Like, if he comes to me and his mood or his attitude is down while he's speaking of his other partner, then I don't want to hear it. It's like, speak about that person in a positive light, because I know how you feel about that person. You know, don't talk to me like I want to hear negative things or that you're making me feel better, because
comforting me.
Yeah, saying negative things or being in a bad mood about a person doesn't make me feel good. Right. Like, I want you to be happy. So if you're talking of your other partner, speak of them in a positive light.
You know, it's funny. There's times that she'll tell me, like, you ain't been out with nobody in a while, or she'll be like, you know, why aren't you going out this weekend? Or you know, why are you staying home? And I'm like, well, because I'm at home. And she's like, no. The same energy that you give here, you need to make sure that somebody out there is getting that same energy, right? Reciprocate that back. And so
I think I said that for this weekend. I said, I'm not going to be available this weekend. At some point, you need to leave. Yeah. I'm not going to be available to you.
I get it.
What are the qualities that you have to be able to properly lead to women?
What are the qualities that I would need to have myself to lead to women?
Or maybe even some improvements, or just your overall thoughts on that.
I mean, I think for me, one, I want to make sure I provide and protect at all points in time. I've always prided myself to say, like, if you wake up one day and say, I just don't want to work anymore, that I can say, don't. And so I want to provide, I want to protect, but I also want to be present. So that's the biggest thing. I used to think that because I was providing and protecting, that I was actually being a leader, but I wasn't present in a lot of those situations, because I was like, well, what more do you want if you have a house and you have money and you have a car and you have, you know, it just kind of makes me realize, like, okay, am I checking their boxes? Am I listening? Am I hearing? Am I understanding what's going on? And am I actually checking on myself and making sure I'm good before all that stuff? So for me, it's never something big. There's not like I'm going to walk in like, I have to do this and I'm going to be perfect. It's like everyday little things. Okay.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I didn't do this to my best ability, or, you know, hey, Reese said to me, hey, I really need this, and I didn't do that. Or my friend over here said, hey, I'm missing this moment with you. And I didn't. And so now I'm just like, okay, it's little things. It's just listening better. It's leading with an idea that, like, my steps are ordered. And, you know, and so when I make a decision, that's the decision.
Confident decisions.
Yeah. And that's the move. And so sometimes, even when you're being stubborn, I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to keep walking forward, because you're going to catch up. You'll catch up to me. Right. And so simple for me is just, I just lead without fear. I lead with faith. And then from there, nothing will stop me. And whoever's going to be with me, I know you're going to always be with me, and we'll ride until we die. But whoever comes on that ride with us, we'll just enjoy that ride so much more, because our foundation is going to be strong. My leadership is going to be amazing, and our love is going to be endless. So it just gives us that opportunity to really be together and have a, you know.
And I want to interject. I admire how he reassures you, even though you don't even need it.
I need it.
Do you really? Because I know I need it in a relationship. But I love to hear you say to her, I know Reese is going to be with me. Yeah. Like, I'm looking like, yes, sis. You got that shit.
That's my girl.
Because that's something that we women, even if you lay with us every night and say, I love you.
Yes.
I need you to know that I'm your person. You know what I mean? So it feels so good to recognize that a man can look at his woman and say, baby, I know you got me, but, you know, just in case somebody else got me with you, you know, I love that. Like, that's amazing. And it also is a bittersweet, because it leads me to the reality that not all men are meant or built for poly. Even if we want them to, even if they think they're practicing it, they're not strong enough. Not everybody can handle that reassurance, that level of love. Their arms just not big enough.
That growth, that unlearning
communication,
of monogamy and societal norms, that being able to be brutally honest with someone and say the things that, you know, you might think might hurt somebody's feelings, but need to be said.
I want to have a transparent moment. I want to know, at what point...
Push that down.
I'm sorry. At what point can you tell a partner this is enough? Introducing woman after woman, and you're like... Well, this is not healthy.
That's your boundaries. And because how does that affect you?
Yeah, because to me, it starts to feel like, or it could start to feel like you're being too thirsty and you're not making healthy decisions, but afraid to speak up because it's like, I'm poly.
Yeah, but he's not
I'm okay with it.
See, but here's the thing. As a poly man, I know that I can't do certain things.
Yeah.
I have boundaries in place, but I also have boundaries in place, not just to protect me, but to protect her, right? So me showing up with different people means that, like, at the end of the day, well, wait a minute, you know what I mean? Like,
what are you doing?
What am I doing? And why am I doing it? And so then I need to kind of have a real conversation with myself and say, okay, what am I trying to accomplish? So, like, I don't know. I don't think that I'm making moves that ever will be like selfish.
Selfish. That's the word. It becomes selfish. I feel like, and I think that that's one of my biggest triumphs, having to be able to say no. Right. Because I am a people pleaser. And because I love the ability to be passive and just like kind of be 100% feminine. So saying no to something can feel like I'm breaking the boundaries of, or breaking the ropes to our poly lifestyle. You know, I don't want to be a slave to it.
No.
But I want to.
You want it to work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that that has been an issue, being able to say, you know, I don't want to do that. I don't want us to do that. I don't want you to do that. Not saying I'm not happy or okay with you being poly, but where the hell you get her from?
She said
send her back.
Just because she poly doesn't mean she come in the group.
Right. Like this ain't, that's not, we not doing that.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's the self-control of a man to be able to say, no, I'm good. Because I have options. And yes, I can go for that person and that person, but do I need to?
Do you need it?
You know,
so
is it going to benefit me?
How do you say that though? Like, Gina, I really need this answer. Well, how do you say it without stepping on his toes or playing?
But here's the thing though, like, if I'm just getting into these situations to have sex, then at the end of the day, maybe I just need to have sex and not actually bring it home, right? I have the ability to go outside and say, okay, I'm going to have sex with somebody and have sex with someone. But I don't need to then say, okay, now that I've had sex, we need to become in a relationship. Sex is almost the last thing that you're getting out of it. It's like I'm building this connection, I'm building this foundation, I'm building this love, and the sex that is going to come behind it is going to be amazing.
Amazing, because it's organic.
Correct. But if I'm just walking a situation like, yo, Reese, I'm bringing this shorty home because she bad and we about to have sex, it's like, okay.
Exactly. I think from my experience, I've had that yes, ma'am. Syndrome, or yes man syndrome, where I just want to be a pleaser and I'm gonna give you whatever you want, even though this is so hella uncomfortable for me and I'm ready to run out of this house. You know, like, I don't want to do this.
See, that won't work.
Yeah, but I'm doing it because I want you to think I'm like superwoman of poly. Like, I got this.
That vulnerability and that, what we use the word as a submission, but it truly comes from being able to say, I'm putting myself first, and I know that my person is going to make sure that I'm safe and I'm protected. And by putting myself first, you don't need to be superwoman.
I listened to your one of your podcasts about boundaries. And I tried so hard. I have tried so hard to implement that in not just my dating life, but just life in general. Because I am that person that's like, you can call me 4 a.m. You need a ride? I'm on my way. Even though I don't want to get out the bed. I don't, you know, so like those boundaries, I admire that you're like, no, or yes, or this is what I desire, because believe it or not, we listeners, we're looking up to that. Like, even out of the poly world, like, I'm going to start doing that. You know what I mean?
No, everybody should definitely have boundaries.
For your mental sanity, like for your...
At the least.
You have to. I agree.
And it's never about controlling somebody. It's just having that peace of mind,
right?
That you're good regardless of what's going on outside of you.
I like that because you can't control what others' intents are or how far they're going to attempt to take things with you, but you can control what you allow in. I feel like the dating scene, they're going to try you. What is she going to let me do? What is he going to let me do?
Oh yeah. Absolutely, especially if you say you poly.
Yeah.
Because they don't truly understand what that is. So yeah, boundaries are definitely gonna get pushed.
I feel like poly and the swinger world are confused a lot.
Oh yeah.
And I've had to like lay shit down. Like that's not what it.
Yeah.
We ain't doing that.
What would be your ideal way of being introduced to another woman?
Oh my God. Okay. So I can only speak on, because I've only been through it. So I can speak on how I wish it would have happened.
Okay. So how tell us how it did happen too.
How do we bring you
let me
home?
tell y'all how it happened. I'm gonna tell y'all how it happened. I can't tell y'all when.
That's
but I
fine.
can tell you how it happened. I had this huge crush on this guy. I grew up like the Central Park area, and he grew up. Yeah, and he grew up like in the Central Park area, but he was like 4 years older than me. So he was like 44. So that means when I was in the 8th grade, he was a senior. He been fine. Never looked at me. I mean, walked straight past me. And I'm
you was a baby.
I'm
so
like,
you was 8th grade.
What you mean? Right? So I always had a crush on this guy. Even into adulthood, had a crush on him. I follow him on every platform. I'm subscribed. Like, I'm locked in on this man, right? One day I go to the liquor store. I was looking good. I ain't gonna hold you. Now, I don't often like brag on myself, but this day I was cold, right?
He was out there.
Yeah. And I was so doofy that I almost fell. I was like, ooh. And he was like, but when I walked in, the best feeling in the world, I swear to God, he looked at me like he's seen a ghost. He was like,
who that?
Damn. And I'm like, yep, bitch.
Got him.
Finally. And it's so emotional because it's so good. So I was like, I know he's gonna try and talk to me. So like about a week later, he inboxed me on Facebook. And I had already made it up in my head that if I had a chance, I was going to do some things to this man that this man had never had done to
See,
him
you already had it planned before you ever talked to him.
I sexualized him immediately. Like, yeah. It's about to happen, baby. And you don't even know. Like, I had this in my head. So we talked, and ironically, the conversation was amazing. Like, he was cool as shit. And I'm like, yo, baby, why you ain't trying to talk to me that night? Because I would have got rid of old girl, got in the car with you. My homegirl could have went by herself. And he was like, I was with my ladies. Your kids? What do you mean your ladies? Like, what ladies? And he was like, the 2 ladies I'm dating. And I'm like, oh my God, is this happening? And I'm like, so happy. And I'm like, oh my God, this is happening. Thank you, Lord. Because I've already been researching and studying, and like, I'm ready. I know everything, right?
Yeah.
So we talked, and about a week later, we grown, right? About a week later, I go to his house, and it's happening. It's me and him. And you couldn't tell me this man didn't make love to me. To every piece of my body.
This is getting intimate.
Listen, this
you sweating?
I'm sorry.
Because I'm from Central Park. I'm like, which one is my boys? It's one of my boys.
Listen, this man done touched my soul. And I'm like, I'm going to move my daughter upstairs. Put my sectional.
See?
Yeah, I already done plans out. Like, nigga, we getting married.
Which one of these is my drawers?
Listen. So, no, for real. So, shit was great, right? And then one day, I'm like, what you doing? Da, da, da. Mind you, we vibing every day. I'm bringing him dinner. But I am noticing little things. I remember saying this. You ready for this? Ring, ring. Hey, baby. I want to be the one to bring you dinner every night. So you just let me know what your likes and dislikes is, and I'm going to bring you dinner every night. He hit me with the okay. Not the old bet. That feel good. No. He like, all right. That's because old girl cooked like auntie from the South. Like, I didn't notice at the time, right? I didn't notice at the time. So I'm still wasting my little money, door dashing in food and bringing in food, right? And so one day he called. We were speaking, and he was like, he was out, and I said, "Okay, I'm gonna meet you." He said, "Okay, but one of my ladies is with me. She may want to join us." And I'm like, "Okay." Right? So we get there. She's beautiful. Body banging. Dressed for success. She's beautiful. She embraced me with a hug and a kiss. And I'm like, yes.
Okay.
Okay. I think this is a bad story.
Yeah, right? No, but listen, the night goes great. The night goes amazing. But the next morning, she ups and leaves. Like, she just, no goodbyes. She just ups and leaves. Whatever. But then I start to notice that when she's around, he's not available.
In what ways?
Like, he's just not emotionally available. Like, he's inviting me over, but he's in the room and she's in the front room. If I go sit next to him, it's
a lot of
yeah, and I'm like, this is weird. But then I met girlfriend number 2. That was even harder. Very established woman, beautiful, chocolate. Both of these women were the complete opposite of me, and that fucked with me.
It does.
And what level were the opposite? Like color?
They were like chocolate, thick booty. And I'm like, how much is the BBL? Like, wait, what the fuck I gotta do?
But why are you comparing yourself?
I couldn't help it. And he was shut down around them. And then when they weren't around, he wrapped his arm around me. This man woke me up one day to tell me I wasn't breathing in my sleep. He was like, baby. I'm like, damn, he picked up on my sleep apnea?
Yeah, you got your machine at?
Right. Right. Like, he woke me up like, baby, you're not breathing.
Joey would never notice that.
Girl, I'm like, you couldn't tell me that this wasn't love.
Listen.
I'm like, he loved me. Like,
God take you in your sleep. He got to take you in your sleep.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, he loved me. And so the one night I was on my lady was here. And so I slept on my own this time in the guest room, not because they left me, because that would happen. But I slept in the guest room, and girlfriend number 1 was on a couch sleep. But I could hear him making love to girlfriend number 2. And everything he did to her is what he would do to me.
You expected different? Like he was going to have a different
Even
bag of
though
tricks?
I am the woman who will say, I want exactly what she feels. Give me that. It made me fall completely out of love with him.
Why?
I don't know.
You wanted him to have 3 different women and have 3 different sex connections?
I don't know. I can't explain it. I would be lying if I explained it. But to hear him making love to her, saying things to her, and I just was like,
did you think, God. Okay, so when he said it to you, you felt exclusive to what he was saying.
To what he was saying. Mm-hmm. And the way he was making me feel and the way he held me. I didn't not want him to hold the other women in his life. I did not want him to please them. But it did something to me. I can't explain it, but...
No, I can understand that.
I just was like, every time we had sex after that, I couldn't orgasm.
Oh, it was a mental thing.
Yeah, like I just couldn't. And I thought I was big dog. Poly, I'm with this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That journey came back and bit
Brick
you.
Wall.
It came back and was like...
You ain't there yet.
And so I had to sit there and reflect. And I had to sit down with him face to face and say, baby, we fucked this whole thing up and it could have been so beautiful.
You didn't have a relationship with them.
Right. With them or with him. Honestly.
Right.
It was just dating.
So you can't really judge your experiences by that.
Correct.
Moving forward.
But
right.
Because that was more of a sexual experience than it was a relationship.
That was the most heartbreaking thing when I realized that. Mm-hmm. I said, we skipped...
Yes, you skipped steps.
We skipped so many steps and just got to the easy part. Things have dissolved since then, but I don't regret a piece of it.
You shouldn't.
I don't regret a piece of it. I learned so much. I remember a good friend of mine when I was living in Georgia. She said, don't let 40 catch you.
Yeah.
You know how many fucked up situations that's had me in?
Trying to like beat 40?
Yeah, like I felt like at 40, the clock was going to strike 12. I was going to be outside with one shoe on. And the carrot was going to turn to a pumpkin.
Right. No, it feels like that way sometimes.
So now I'm at this place to where there is still this fear of what changes are going to happen in the next part of my life. But I'm so grateful for the changes I've created. Mm-hmm. You know?
What if you walk into 40 and with this goal of living happy and honest? right? You lead with true happiness. Like, this is my happiness.
Yeah.
And this is how I'm going to be happy. And I need to be honest about what my happiness really brings me. Right. So like whenever we walk into a situation now, if you start walking into the room and say, okay, this is me.
Yeah.
I'm happy. And if you want to be with me or you want to be around me, you want to be in my universe, then accept me for who I am.
Definitely. I agree with that. Like, even when I was dating more than one inmate, people would ask me like, what's your goal? Like, you can't keep doing this. And I would say, like, I don't have a goal. I have a feeling. So it just feels good. It feels good to say, okay, if he doesn't call right now, he's going to call. Or if I don't talk to this person, I can go visit this person. It was just that ongoing flow of love. So I'm really excited. You know what I mean? Like,
you should be.
What else you got here? I feel like we've just been vibing.
I think we've been flowing real good. We've been talking about a little bit of everything, along with just the leadership and the energy that is needed when men have multiple women. What do you see coming for you in the future?
I feel like it's only going to get better.
It will.
I feel like it's going to get better because I'm learning, I'm educating myself, I'm open-minded, and I live in my truth. So I feel like nothing but happiness can fall upon me. The scary part is the win. Because I'm an instant gratification person. Yeah.
Slowing yourself down a little bit.
Myself down.
Enjoying the journey.
Enjoy the journey.
It's so scary. Because I want to be at the finish line.
No.
Exactly.
Forget the finish line.
Don't start planning a wedding so soon.
I'm already picked.
Maybe not even a wedding.
It's the colors.
But listen, you can't forget the finish line. Like, it's not this race that you're running. You want to get to the end because you're tired. It's just like walk in the park. That's just like, oh man, it's beautiful out here right now. Slow down to see it. But
there's days when I honestly take a moment and truly appreciate where I am in life and appreciate him.
I love that.
And because you never know what tomorrow will bring.
That's a fact.
You don't know who won't be here tomorrow.
Oh, that's so true.
You know, you sent me a text the other day and said to me, I love the way you love me.
Ooh.
Right. And it is like, it stopped me in my tracks. And I was like, I love the way that you let me love you.
Ooh.
Right. And so it's that connection that is allowed there, right? It's that feeling, right? And so the past me didn't know how to love correctly or take that love back in, right? And so now in this journey, specifically with Poly, I don't have to not live my truth and my happiness, and I can be honest about my life and be accepted. So
I love it.
That's my love.
I love how you smile when you look at him. I love it. I love it.
I got a question if I can.
Go ahead.
So because I just have a question. Do you think in the future or while it happens, would you start with a female and then a male, or do you want to start with the male and a female? Like, would you be okay with one person and then growing, or would you rather walk into a dynamic that's like?
Oh no. Okay, so I would prefer to walk into a dynamic.
Okay.
Because like I told you, I like leadership. I like strength. I like to be kind of led. But I am not against meeting a female first and falling in love or in infatuation and falling into anything with this woman or this man. But my preference would be to fall into an already established strong situation where they could teach me, guide me, show me. To me, that is like a dream come true.
Gotcha.
I can see that. You have fun?
I had a great time.
This was amazing. Like, we gotta do this again. Like,
you're always welcome. We always have a great time.
This is the best interview podcast I've done. I've done a lot. This one, I knew it was gonna be though. Like, y'all got that.
Listen, we just want to be what you see on camera is really what we are.
No, I believe it.
And
you can feel it.
Yeah, we don't want to. We're not faking anything. We're just like, yo, listen, this is us. But we invite everybody.
I was like so scared. Like they're gonna be like, "Girl, who is you?"
Nah.
I'm like, yes.
Come on in. You want to join the show? DM us. Hit us up.
This is dope.
We in. Hey, thanks for listening. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe.
And connect with us on social media. You can find our links in the description.